Okay, we're going to take what we learned in section 3.1 to go ahead and do some real work and finding different angles and different angle measurements. So, four theorems that we're going to look at. Corresponding angle theorems. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, the pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. So in other words, angle 7 and angle 3 are congruent, angle 8, angle 4, angle 6, angle 2, angle 5, angle 1. All of those would have the same measure or be congruent. Alternate interior angles are also congruent. So angle 3 and angle 6 have the same measure, angle 5 and angle 4 have the same measure. Alternate exterior angles, which are angles 1 and 8 and angles 7 and 2, are also congruent. And finally, consecutive interior angles, angles 5 and 3 and 4 and 6, are supplementary, meaning they add up to 180 degrees. So we can use those definitions to figure out from some given information what the measure of different angles are. So let's take examples or two. So first example, we want to identify angles that measure 120 degrees. So we know that angle 5 measures 120 degrees because of corresponding angles. Okay. We know that angle 4 is equal to 120 degrees. So angle 4 is equal to 120 degrees, and that's because of the vertical angle rule. And we know that angle 8 is equal to 120 degrees because of alternate exterior angles. With all of that being said, then we can tell that each of those have a measure. Angle 4, 5, and 8 have a measure of 120 degrees. So we want to use the property of parallel lines to find the value for x. By definition of exterior angles, we know that angle 4 is equal to 115 degrees. We know that angle 4 plus x plus 5 is equal to 180 degrees because of consecutive interior. Then we can substitute 115 degrees for angle 4. 115 degrees plus x plus 5 is equal to 180 degrees. Need to get my hand in a better spot. That's substitution. We can combine like terms and we get x plus 120 is equal to 180 degrees. And that's just simplify or combine like terms. And then we can subtract 120 from both sides, and we're getting x is equal to 60. That's the subtraction property. All right, finally on last part here, we want to find the value of x. So first thing we know is that the measure of angle 1 and the measure of 7x plus 9 are congruent. So measure angle 1 is congruent to 7x plus 9. Alright. We know that angle 1, so I'm going to do this over here, 180 degrees minus 136 is equal to angle 1 because collinear pairs are supplementary. So the measure of angle 1 is going to equal 44 degrees. So now I can go 44 is equal to 7x plus 9 because congruent angles are equal. I can subtract 9 from both sides, subtract 9. I believe I'm going to get 35 is equal to 7x. Divide by 7, divide by 7, and I'm going to get x is equal to 5. And if I needed to find the measure of the second angle, it would be 136 degrees as well. Alright, going on. So we're going to use a two-column proof to prove the alternate interior angle theorem, that they are congruent. So we're going to start with, and I didn't leave myself a lot of room, but I'm going to try it over here at the bottom. So we have our statements on the left, our reasons on the right, and first off, P is parallel to Q, and that was given to us. Alright, so with that being said, we know that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent because they are corresponding angles. Then we know that angle 3 is congruent to angle 2 because they are vertical angles. And then finally we can say that because 3 is in both of those statements, that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and that is using what is called the transitive property.